Hi, kindergartners. Today I'm going to read How Full is Your Bucket for kids. There's the bucket. How full is your bucket? For kids. Felix was putting one last block on his tower when his little sister came in. "I want to build with you," she said. Felix scowled. "Go away. You're too little." "I'm big." "Stay back. You'll knock it over." "I'll be very careful." "Go play with your baby toys, Anna." Thwack! "Grandpa!" Grandpa shook his head. "Felix, you just dipped from your sister's bucket. Like everyone else, Anna has an invisible bucket. When it's empty, she feels bad. When it's full, she feels great. Didn't you ever notice your own bucket?" Invisible bucket? Sometimes Felix just couldn't tell when his grandfather was joking. But the next morning, when Felix woke up, there it was, a small gray bucket floating above his head. Even his dog is wondering, what's that? Do you think you have one? An invisible bucket? When Felix came downstairs to have breakfast, his mom was in a hurry. "I've got a meeting this morning and it's almost time to go. Anna, sit still." Uh-oh. I'm wondering what's going to happen. It doesn't look good, does it? Felix slipped and choco wheats scattered across the floor. "Felix!" yelled his mom. "You should have used a stool to reach that." Felix could feel his bucket tip and big invisible drips spill out. Drip, drip. "Ha ha," Anna laughed as she crunched cereal under her shoe. Drip. "Get the broom and clean that up before you miss the bus," scolded Mom. With the school bus honking, Felix quickly swept up the choco wheats and grabbed the last blueberry muffin. But before he could even take one bite of the muffin, Buster jumped up and grabbed the muffin from his hand. Drip. "Hey, look at Felix's new backpack. My baby brother has one just like it." Drip. "Psst, psst, 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 Felix." Drip. "Watch out, shrimp." Drip. You noticing that every time someone says something unkind, or when something bad happens, like Buster eating the last blueberry muffin, water is dripping out of Felix's bucket. So when water goes down in someone's bucket, when there's not as much left, they feel really sad, really upset, maybe really frustrated. It was still morning, and Felix's bucket felt almost empty. Look at the look on his face. Poor Felix. Have you ever felt like that? I have. As he watched his classmates walk into the room, he secretly hoped they would trip and fall. That's what it feels like when you have an empty bucket. There he is. Felix slumped in his seat and waited for something else bad to happen. Mrs. Bumblenickel walked up slowly to his desk and handed him a paper. He could hardly bear to look. "Felix, you wrote a wonderful story. Would you please share it with the class?" Felix grinned and felt a big drop land right in his bucket. Drop. The Gigantossaurus Who Wanted a Pet, by me, Felix. The class grew quiet. They laughed at all the right points and oohed at the scary parts. When Felix finally read "The End," everyone clapped, even Emily, who sat next to him and didn't usually like dinosaurs. Then Felix felt a whole shower of drops land in his bucket. Maybe this day wouldn't be so bad after all. Plink, drip, plop, drop. His bucket's getting fuller. His mood is changing. Now he has a big smile. He feels a lot better. People have appreciated his story. Drop. Today's team captains today are Veronica and Felix. Drop. Nice cow. It's a dog. Well, nice colors there, Felix. Cool laser ant backpack, Felix. By the afternoon, Felix's bucket was nearly full. At recess, when he looked around, Felix suddenly realized that his grandpa was right. Everybody else had a bucket too. Do you see all those buckets? Some buckets are pretty full, but I see some that aren't so full. Do you? Guess people have a lot of different feelings all the time, and sometimes you don't know unless you really pay attention to how others are feeling. You can look at their face, you can look at their bodies. It would be nice if we could really see their invisible buckets, wouldn't it? But there's some other clues. We can talk to them. We can find out what's happening with them. We can even ask people how they're feeling. Oh, let me help you. He dropped his papers. Drop, drop. Here's your baseball. Catch. Thanks, dude. Drop. Drop. Oh, look what's happening. Felix helped this teacher, and water fell in his bucket, and water also fell in the teacher's bucket. And look, the teacher's bucket was almost so empty. That can happen to grown-ups too. And then he gave this kid back his ball, and he got a drop in his bucket, and so did this kid. He looks like he needed some. Hi, I'm Felix. First day? Yeah, I'm Amir. Drop, drop. The strange thing was that for every drop he helped put in someone else's bucket, Felix felt another drop in his own bucket. So when he's being kind, he gets a drop. And Amir, the boy he's being kind to, gets a drop too. Did you ever do something nice for somebody and then you felt better? When Felix burst in the door after school, he shouted, "You were right, Grandpa! I do have a bucket and I understand how it works." Then he saw that Anna's doll was torn. "Bad dog," he almost scolded. But then he thought, dogs might have invisible buckets too. Look, there's Buster's bucket. It's pretty low. Anna's is pretty low. Grandpa's looks a little better, a little higher. He's a little happier. "Your doll will be okay, Anna," said Felix. "Mom will fix her." "Until then, do you want to help me build the tallest building in the world with my blocks?" And so they did. And that's the end.